Hello everyone, welcome to this online series of Systems in Mechanical Engineering. So in this video lecture we will be covering our unit number 6, that is engineering mechanisms and their application in domestic appliances. So basically we can segregate this unit number 6 in two parts. So first belongs to mechanisms and equipments, in which we have to learn different mechanisms like pumps, blowers, compressors, springs, gears, belt and pulley, chain sprocket mechanisms, valves, levers, right? And in second part, the application of the same mechanisms, like for compressor, right, refrigerator, water cooler, split AC, then for pumps, water pump for overhead tanks, then water filter and purifier units, right? Then for blowers, what is the use of blower in vacuum cleaner or maybe in kitchen chimney, right? Then about motor, the applications are fans, exhaust fans, washing machines, etc. So we will see one by one. So we will start with what exactly the mechanism is, right? So before moving on to mechanism, we have to deal with what is kinematics. Okay, in engineering mechanics you may have heard about difference between kinematics and kinetics, right? In kinematics, we deal with characteristics of motion but without considering the effect of force. Okay, but in case of kinetics, we study the motion, okay, like velocity analysis according to the effect of force, right? So this is a best example what exactly the kinetics is, nothing but, right? So in this image, right, this is the one link, or we can say a hand, right, of this automized robot, right? So under kinetics we will only deal with the position and we can say velocity, or we can say the characteristic of motion. Okay, but in case of kinetics we have also deal with what will be the force, what will be the weight of that particular object which we have to carry, according to which the sufficient amount of the strength should be given to each link of that particular robot. Now we will see what exactly the kinematic link is, right? It is a resistance body in a machine which moves relative to another resistance body, which is nothing but a kinematic link or element, right? So while daily commuting, okay, you may have encountered this example. Okay, this is a wiper on a windshield, right? Here this cross sign is continuously rotating in counterclockwise manner, okay, because of some provisions. Okay, these links, which are nothing but the wipers, are moving over the windshield, okay, which makes further better visibility for a driver and passengers. So it is a resistance body in which we can say do not undergo deformation while transmitting the force. Also the kinetic link can be divided into three parts. First one is a rigid link and a resistance link. If there is absolutely no deformation in the link while transmitting the motion, it is called as rigid link or resistance link. Okay, it is defined which has negligible deformation during its motion. Okay, example we can say all machine parts. Then there comes a flexible link. Okay, in this type of link there is partial deformation while transmitting the motion. Belt drive is best example of flexible link. Okay, uh, you may have seen the belt drives, right? That particular belt while transmitting the motion, okay, it gets deflected. That's why it is known as flexible link. And there is this fluid link. In this type of link, the motion is transmitted with the help of fluid pressure. Okay, hydraulic brake that are being used in automobiles. Okay, it is best example of fluid link. Okay, in which pressure applied at brake pedal is transmitted to brakes through a fluid. Okay, that's why it is known as a fluid link. Then we have seen about this mechanism. Okay, how it differs from this machine. Okay, So in machine it converts available energy into useful work, whereas in mechanism it converts or modify the motion, right? So in wiper we have seen the circular motion is converted into, we can say, oscillating motion, right? The second segregation, we can see that the dimension and shape are very important parameter for constructing a machine, right? The second point for mechanism, the dimensions and shape are not so much important while constructing mechanism. While designing machine, strength requirements are taken into consideration, right? We have seen in first slide itself. Okay, if we are going to design according to kinetics, okay, then there is comes this characteristic, that is nothing but the strength. While designing the mechanism, the required motions are taken into consideration but not the forces, right? So best example for machine, we can say steam engine, pump, right? Mechanism, it is single slider mechanism. Okay, so in this image we can see this is the pump, right? Actually it is a vane pump. Okay, from here there is suction, and from this end it has been partially pressurized and given to wherever the requirement is. Whereas here this is a mechanism where circular motion is converted into reciprocating motion. Okay, in second unit itself, okay, basics of thermodynamics of systems in mechanical engineering, we have seen 2-stroke and 4-stroke engines. Okay, so this is the piston which is continuously reciprocating. Okay, this is a connecting rod, this is a crank, and this is a we can say a flywheel. Okay, now we will see one by one important mechanisms. So pump has been covered in unit number 2. Okay, we have seen a centrifugal pump, and I think we have seen a reciprocating compressor. Okay, so whenever there is this term pump, okay, so it is nothing but machine which convert mechanical energy into hydraulic energy. Okay, so basically this pump is used to pressurize the fluid. Okay, we can specifically say that it is a liquid. Okay, it is immaterial whether the energy is utilized for lifting purpose or for raising the pressure. Okay, so under pump we have to refer our unit number 2, that is unit number 1, that is centrifugal pumps. So pumps are driven by some prime mover. Prime mover is nothing but which is a source to give the input for that particular mechanism. So IC engine, steam engine, or electric motor is used to rotate this pump, thereby mechanical energy is converted into hydraulic energy. Second mechanism is blower. So an air blower is a machine used for generating flow of air at substantial pressure. Substantial means considerable high pressure. In centrifugal blower, air enters axially and leaves the blades in radial direction. Blowers are used in air or gas circuit either to create suction, means vacuum cleaner, or blower, positive pressure, right? They are mainly used for flow of air or gas required for exhausting, aspirating, cooling, ventilating, and conveying, etc. Blower is also commonly known as centrifugal fans in industry. So the fans which we use in homes, okay, it is an electric device, while a blower is a mechanical device. Fans have blades, whereas blowers have impellers that channel the air in specific direction toward a particular location. We will see the examples later on. So this is a blower, okay, which has an impeller which is channelizing that particular pressurized, substantial pressure, pressurized air to fly away, we can say that this residue, or we can say the leaves, right? So in this slide, this is a application for positive pressure, right, blower. Here it is a application of negative pressure or vacuum, which is nothing but a vacuum cleaner. fourth important mechanism is air compressor. This has been also again covered in unit number 1 part 2. Okay, we have seen the reciprocating compressor. So there may be a confusion regarding pump and compressor, because the basic purpose is to pressurize the fluid. Okay, under fluid there may be a liquid or gas, but basically pump is used for liquid and air compressor, or we can say the compressor is used to compress the air. So it is a device which compresses the atmospheric air to a high pressure at the expense of external work supplied either by electric motor or by IC engine. Means electric motor or IC engine is nothing but a prime mover. The compressed air at higher pressure is delivered to a vessel called receiver for storage. Okay, so this kind of arrangement you may have seen, okay, in the shops of, we can say, puncture shops, right? This blue color tank is nothing but a receiver for storage, and this two cylinders, okay, having fins, is nothing but a compressor, and this compressor are run, or we can say moved, with this help of electric motor, which is nothing but a prime mover. There is provision to read the pressure inside this cylinder, or we can say receiver. Okay, and this arrangement over here is used basically for cooling purpose for these two cylinders. Then this is an important component where you may found the wide applications. Okay, the mechanism about springs, right? A spring is an elastic or resilient body whose function is to deflect or deform when the load is applied and recover its original shape when load is removed. Generally, the type of energy while deflecting is nothing but a strain energy. So application of springs. Okay, first, to apply force, examples are springs in clutches, brakes and valves. Second, the application is to measure force, right? You may have seen the weighing machine in which springs are used to store the energy. Springs in clock, the mechanical watches, okay, toys, switches. Then for to absorb shocks and vibrations, it means that springs in vehicle suspension systems, right? So these were the different applications. Okay, now we will see the different types of spring. Okay, the first one is tension spring. Okay, specific application for this tension spring you have seen in the side stand of a two-wheeler, or we can say mopeds, right? When you push that particular side stand, okay, to park your two-wheeler or moped, okay, it restores some energy, okay, while being get stretched out. Okay, and when you just remove that side stand, okay, it will go its to original position because of the stored energy. Then there is this compression spring. Okay, the shock absorbers in automobiles, you have seen the compression spring. Okay, thereby they reduce the shocks and makes your ride comfort. Torsion spring, again one of the important type of spring. Then this is a spiral spring which is used to store the energy either in a mechanical watches. Then this is one of the important gear drive. Okay, in unit number I think 4 we have seen a gearbox, where we have also seen what are the gears, what is the function, what is the advantage and what is the limitation, and also we have studied the gear ratio. Okay, we will again revise over here what exactly the gear drives are. So it is a kind of machine element in which teeth are cut around cylindrical or cone shaped surfaces with equal spacing. By meshing a pair of these elements, they are used to transmit rotations and forces from the driving shaft to driven shaft, right? Driving shaft means which is a input, and driven shaft is nothing but the output. Gears pair or drive reduces the output speed so that we get maximum torque to start wheel rolling, and also we can change the direction of rotation of output shaft. Means this first statement tells about while moving or to have initial velocity, initial acceleration for an automobile, there is reduced speed. Okay, that's why in geared vehicles we put the wheel automobile in first gear. Okay, so the speed is slow but the torque is maximum, whereas if you want to reverse the automobile, okay, or we can say that we have to maneuver the vehicle in reverse direction, we have to put that particular automobile in a reverse gear. Okay, so that is one of the important again example of gear drive. Okay, so there are three major categories of gears in accordance with the orientation of their axis, right? So first is parallel axis, in which your spur gear, helical gear, gear rack or internal gears comes. Okay, parallel axis means, suppose this gray air which is rotating in counterclockwise manner, it is an input gear, and this we can say a golden output gear. Okay, so both gears have a shaft which are parallel one, that's why it is known as, we can say, parallel axis. Okay, then the second one is intersecting axis, or we can say meter gear, straight bevel gear, spiral bevel gear. Here just notice that for this gear this will be the shaft axis, and for this horizontal gear here it will be there one axis. So both axes will be intersect each other. Okay, so these types of gears arrangement uses bevel gears and spiral bevel gears. Okay, in unit number 4 we have seen the differential gearbox. Okay, in which there is one crown wheel, this one was the crown wheel. Okay, so this is nothing but the bevel gear. Then third type, non-parallel non-intersecting, means neither the axes are parallel one and neither they are intersecting one. Okay, so generally this is worm and worm wheel. Okay, so this is as this bottom gear is known as worm wheel, this is known as worm. Okay, so this kind of motion is transmitted in this non-parallel non-intersecting axis type of gear combinations. And there is one, this last one, fourth, rack and pinion. Okay, used to convert this graze gear rotary motion into linear motion, or from linear motion to rotary motion. Okay, this type of gear mechanism we have seen in a gearbox. Okay, so while driving a four-wheeler, when you rotate the driving wheel, okay, so thereby this gray wheel will be rotated. Okay, and this rack is again connected to the steering mechanism. Okay, so according to the driving wheel rotation, your wheels will be steered either to the left or to the right. So what are the advantages of gear or gear drives? Okay, it provides constant velocity ratio as it is a positive drive. Okay, it transmit more power than other system. Okay, other systems like belt drive, chain drive, its transmission efficiency is high and long working life. Okay, as it is positive drive means whatever the input power, suppose 100 watt is given, okay, output will be nearly about 100 watt. Okay, means power will be same for input at output, that's why transmission efficiency is high. It transmits power with very low velocity due to high reduction ratios. Okay, that's why I have said that in first gear of an automobile there is very reduced, we can say, velocity but have a high torque. It requires minimum space as it is compact in size. Then the limitations or disadvantages we can say about gear drive, it cannot be used for long central distance. Just imagine I want to transmit a power over 5 meters. Okay, can you use the gear drive? Obviously not. Okay, then the second limitation, cannot absorb shocks, need precise alignment of shafts. Okay, right, it is one of the limitation. Okay, if the alignment of the shafts disturbs, okay, there will be a more noise while transmitting the power. this system requires lubrication for smooth working. Okay, whenever we used to go in service shop for servicing an automobile after 4000 to 5000 kilometers, okay, we used to change the lubricating oil. Okay, so it is one of the limitation, we can say. Its manufacturing cost is considerably high and manufacturing is also complicated. Obviously, to construct a gear, okay, we need to have that particular profile. Okay, and it is kind of, we can say, a complicated thing, and to manufacture the complicated thing, the cost for manufacturing will be more. Then the sixth one, belt pulley drives. Okay, we have seen gear drive, now belt pulley drives. Okay, so here just see, this blue wheel is driving one counterclockwise. Here this is red, which is nothing but the driven wheel. This is the input, green one. This driven red one is nothing but the output. And this yellow thing which is continuously rotating over this driving and driven pulley. Okay, these are nothing but the pulleys. Belt, this is belt, and this is the pulley. Right? It is nothing but the belt, right? So generally, many a times the slack side is above, okay, because it increases the surface contact, but let it be, there is no that much we can say significance. But these belt pulley drives are used where there is long center distance. Okay, so just imagine we have to transmit the torque from this driving to driven pulley at a distance of, let's say, 2 meter. Then these belt pulley drives are used. Okay, this is open belt drive. Okay, and I am going to show you, this is a cross belt drive. So this is a driver one and this is a driven one. Okay, so important, we can say, comparison in between this left open pulley and this cross pulley, cross belt pulley, is that there will be reversing of the motion. Okay, so here both the pulleys are rotating in counterclockwise manner. So if here this is a driving or driver, it is rotating in clockwise direction, this driven will be in a counterclockwise direction. Okay, this is a basic difference, and through we can say visualization, we can also conclude that the length required in this cross belt pulley will be more than this open belt pulley. Then the sixth type of mechanism, it is a chain drive. Okay, the best example for the chain drive is our bicycles, right? So it consists of endless metallic chain, this one, running around two sprocket wheels. Okay, these are the sprocket wheels. It is widely used in bicycles, motorcycles, conveyors, agricultural machinery, rolling mills, and machine tools. Okay, best example is motorcycles and bicycles. So what is the advantage? We can treat it as a positive drive, like a gear drive, right? Used for long as well as short distance. Okay, wherever there will be limitation for gear drive, okay, we have to transmit a power in a positive manner or positive drive. Okay, but the center distance is more, then we can go for this chain drive. It transmits large power but and less expensive than the gears, can operate at high temperature and compact compared to belt drive, obviously. And what can be the limitation of chain drive? Not suitable for precision motion, requires lubrication and maintenance. Okay, if you see the modern two-wheelers like Royal Enfield Bullet 350 Classic or Yamaha's various bikes, modern ones, then KTM's bike, okay, they require frequent lubrication and maintenance. If frequent lubrication and maintenance is not done, there will be noisy operation for that particular chain drive. Okay, then the important one, the levers, right? So here this is the lever, blue one. Okay, there are three different classes.
So first, this one is first class for the lever, okay, where the fulcrum is at the center. The green one is effort applied to raise this load. This is the first class lever. Then this is the second class, okay. Effort is towards extreme end and fulcrum is also towards extreme end, okay. So to raise the load, this type of second class lever is used. Then this is third kind of lever, where this is the fulcrum, right. Here we apply the effort and load to be raised is over here. In next video we are going to see the different applications of whatever we have learned the mechanisms. Like for compressor we will see refrigerator, water cooler, split ACs, right. Application of pumps we have already seen. For blowers we are not going to see the vacuum cleaner and kitchen chimney, okay, because it is quite simple one. We are going to see the application of springs, door closure and door locks. We are going to see the application of levers, door latch, brake paddles, and application of electric or solar energy for geyser and solar water heater. Thank you.